they haven't managed to capture that feeling that I had with the earlier Halos. And I don't know, because like obviously I've been playing Destiny a lot, and a lot of my love for Halo is in Destiny. But I really hope that Halo finds a new identity, right? A new, like, this is Halo, instead of trying to kind of be old Halo and kind of be not old Halo. And I want to be excited about Halo. Please give me something to be excited about. That's really what I want.
All right. Does this excite you? Does a FPS's 2019 BR, does a Halo BR component have any excitement, or is BR done? Is BR out the window now? Do they just go back to what Halo was?
I really don't care too much about Battle Royale.
Okay.
I can see it, but I also don't really need it.
Chat's
Halo
definitely not in the VR world as well, so I think
it's honestly, for me, it's Halo was always about like tight little shootouts, corridors, throwing grenades, weird physics bugs, like throwing a Warthog over somebody's head with a grenade. Like, that's Halo for me.
Right.
I don't really need that with 100 people.
Yeah. Cool. What were we gonna say before I interrupted you?
I don't remember.
Halo, are you excited? You're not.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Thank you. So basically, it's an interesting situation, because with Halo, it's kind of like the Borderlands thing, where it's such an established franchise. You're going to have a fan base, a broad fan base in Halo's situation, where they're going to be expecting kind of the same thing. They want more of what they already love. So it's a very fine line to walk when making a subsequent sequel, where it's kind of like, how much new stuff can you really put in without alienating that already established, very established in Halo's case, base? It'll be interesting.
That's true. That's true. What else are we gonna see first party? What about, we talked about Fable on our pre-show? Do we think that's? I mean, it was listed in the Mixer game directory, also the Twitch game directory. That's what everyone's thinking it's gonna be here. Is it time for a new Fable? Is it time to put that game back out there?
Is it time for a good new RPG? Is the bigger question.
If you frame it that way, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about time. Come on, it's about time.
Yeah.
Like, what has been like the big like RPG? Like, it's been what? The Witcher 3 was like the last like really big one that kind of made me feel like, oh wow, here's a big old fantasy RPG. Like, all
apart from CRPGs, yeah, it's been kind of,
well, that type of RPG, right?
Yeah,
like, There's been a lot of like top-down role-playing games. There's been a lot, but like Vampire was there a while ago. That was pretty good. But like The Witcher, and then now, hopefully, Fable 4. I'm up for it.
I'm into a Fable 4.
I just really want to plant a tree and then come back 6 years later and then have it grow into a little tree like they promised with like Fable 2.
That's all I want. You just want those trees to grow. That's all you want.
I want every promise that Peter Molyneux made. I want that to be in Fable 4.
Gotcha.
Out of curiosity, Rami, did you see the article written about what they wanted Fable to be initially?
Yeah.
Talk about like, oh man.
That's how that always goes. But I love that about game development. That's the thing, as a game developer, that makes me so excited, is you have these plans and then you go like, oh, okay, that's not going to work. We're just going to adjust a little here, and then before you know, you're making a completely different game. And it's happened so often that whenever there's games out there, sometimes there's stories about how they were made or where they came from. You know, first-person shooters that started as third-person RPGs, stuff like that. It's just really exciting. And by the time it gets to E3, obviously you have a good idea of what it is. But some of the games you're going to see today have absurd history stories, like just ridiculous stories of deals, development problems. Just that kind of stuff makes me excited as a game developer. Like, I'm excited to celebrate the developers that have worked so hard to bring this show tonight. And there's going to be issues. There's going to be weird things. There's going to be announcements that don't land as well. But people worked hard for it tonight, and I'm just excited to celebrate that. So I'm ready.
What do you think is going to be the big moment? You think it's because Cyberpunk's already there, so that's kind of, is it? You think it's maybe showing Halo off, or the new console off? Like, what's the big thing that everyone's going to be talking about?
If they have the console, it's going to be the console.
You think?
Like Sony seems convinced that it's the console because they've been talking about theirs. They clearly want to be ahead. So
yeah, guess we'll see. Zeke, what about you? Are you all in on the indie stuff? Is there any one particular thing here that you're super excited about with the potential to see, as we're about 5 minutes away, 6 minutes away?
Well, like last time you cut my legs out before I even had a chance. They're like, and you can't say new IPs because that's always what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Always for new new intellectual properties to be shown there, whether they're indie or otherwise. But I mean, if you're going for like a long shot outside chance, like, man, Skate 4 would be fucking cool to see. I mean, I doubt it's gonna happen, but that would be pretty sweet.
Did you happen to see? I think it was. I didn't. Maybe Rami read this fully, but Adam Sessler works for like a data company when it comes to what people are excited about. And I think Skate 4 was the #1 mentioned thing yesterday during all of like social media and chat across all their different platforms during the EA conference, the EA Play. Sorry, I'll stay on brand. Skate 4 was mentioned more times than anything they showed, which is kind of funny. Also, they gave 30 seconds to Anthem. If you saw that, it was very interesting. Yeah. Greg Miller even said, we don't want to, you guys have had like a rough past couple of months, and like we don't, it was bad. It was rough.
That was pretty hard, man, because like basically Anthem came out, there was 1,000 bullhorns worth of feedback that was given to them, and most of it was, we need more content as fast as possible. And then months go by, and then at the EA Play show, they announce that they have been spending their resources to make a public test server to get feedback on the game. And they were like, wow, are we awesome listening to our people? It's kind of like...
Yeah. Anyways, that's Anthem. We'll be talking about that on our recap show for E3 next week. Do you think they give any love to the PC side of Xbox here? Do you think they devote any time to what's... I mean, we've got the Xbox Game Pass. That's out there. They had a full game list earlier today. I think it's $10. One of them being Metro Exodus, which is the Epic Game Store exclusive, no longer, I guess. But do you think they devote any more time to it when it comes to Xbox and PC?
They should, for the price and what you're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been their strategy for years now, right? They want to blur that line. They want to make you forget that Xbox and PC are different things. They want you to have this one integrated thing, and they're in the perfect position to do it. Owning Windows. They're consolidating the stores. It's going to be the Xbox store on PC as well. Like, yeah, they're obviously trying to make this one thing. So I don't think we'll see anything specifically for PC. But, oh, yeah, they're going to mention PC like all night. If we don't have PC on that bingo card, there needs to be PC on that bingo card. Because
That's
and also, I mean, to put it in a little bit of
minutes.
perspective,
Yeah.
You can go right now to the Epic Games Store and you can buy Metro Exodus for $49.99, or you could give Microsoft $5, and as long as you beat it in a month, then you get the exact same experience, and you don't have to use Epic. So, like, that's something they should definitely be pushing a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of significant.
They will.
What do you think is the opener? Do you open or close with a new console? Do you open or close with Halo? What do you open with?
They open with a game, and then console.
Okay.
If they have a console, it's going to be like in the first few minutes, and they're going to start off with a game that shows off what it can do.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Sure. Makes sense. Co, what about you?
Real quick, by the way, apparently it's $1 during the beta phase to sign up for PC.
Jesus, they are trying to get some early adoption rate going over there. Holy hell. Okay.
That seems kind of okay. Anyway, what was the question?
What are they going to open with? What are we seeing here in a minute 40, a minute 30?
Probably the standard montage. That'll probably be what we start with. Kind of like here's like a bunch of little clips from everything. And then honestly, I would guess Game Pass. I would probably guess Game Pass and then right into their established, which would be like Halo and then maybe some other stuff. They may open with teasers though, which could be really interesting.
That's true.
Like here's a quick snap of something that you'll see later in the show. But yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be very interesting because this is kind of like their moment to shine. So whatever they open with, hopefully it'll be strong.
It's true. Zeke, what are your predictions? What are we seeing first here?
I'm saying something surprising, like a surprise like that that might not have gotten leaked.
The one thing that didn't leak, sure.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna open with like, "Hey, Xbox dildo coming right at you." It's like, whoa, what? Okay.
That would indeed be unexpected. They've taken the timer off for everyone that's over at /Twitch. I think we're gonna get shut up over there. But if you want to come join us, we're gonna be talking over the conference here at twitch.tv/itmejp, and we'll be back afterwards to talk about everything that we just saw. So It should be starting here any second. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over.
And by the way, over on /Twitch, if you're excited, go ahead and throw a resident sleeper in chat if you've been enjoying the show and you're ready for all this E3 awesome.
It's true. It's true. The hype meter is just rolling with those resident sleepers right now.
If you feel good about your, make sure you watch the chat during these conferences.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll write down a couple of pegs.
Gotcha. Noted. Well, here we go. They should be starting any second. Here we go. Right now. Perfect timing. I'm going to pump the volume up. Is that a different shade of Xbox green? Looks a little bit.
It is. Yeah, it is.
This is the Xbox E3 2019 briefing.
Corporate model is the oldest and most efficient structure history has ever shown us.
Scheduled scarcity is a premium feature of colonial life. The colony must never lose faith. That is what the board provides. Security in a senseless and chaotic world.
This is Halcyon, the furthest colony in the galaxy, proudly owned and operated by corporations. Everything we have, everything we are, we owe to them. They are always with us. No one has ever gone against them. But a stranger has just arrived. Someone who's challenging the corporate board. Someone who's digging up their secrets. Someone who could be a villain or a hero.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Here, hope this gun serves you better than it did me.
Or a psychopath.
Oh, no.
Did you ever think you'd end up like this?
My time to shine!
I suppose time will tell, but no matter who this stranger chooses to be, the Halcyon colony will never be the same.
They're all a bunch of swine!
Please welcome, from Ninja Theory, Ronnie Tucker and Dom Matthews.
At E3 2018, we announced that Ninja Theory had joined Xbox Game Studios, a move that has given us an incredible boost in achieving the creative ambition of our teams. We've started work on a number of new games at the studio, and in the near future, we'll be sharing details on all of these projects. When we joined Xbox Game Studios, we already had a very exciting game several years in the making, and we're happy to return to E3 to share this with you.
As creative director, I'm stoked to be here to share our new game with you guys. It combines two of my gaming passions, third-person action combat and competitive team multiplayer. Our technical alpha is kicking off in just a couple of weeks, and we'd love for you to sign up, get involved, and tell us what you think. Or if you're here at E3, come and join us for a game. I really hope you guys like it. Check it out. This is Bleeding Edge.
World premiere.
Please welcome the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We on Team Xbox live for this exact moment. The moment we get to share the best of our art form here with you in LA. And the moment you get to experience breathtaking new stories, new worlds, and new heroes for the very first time. This moment isn't just about finding some new games, it's about discovering your new games. This decisive moment of discovery is etched in your gaming history, alongside your every achievement, your every moment, your every new friend. This is why we on Team Xbox are always and will be dedicated to unleashing the next new games for you to discover and love. So whether you're one of the thousands with us here in Microsoft Theater, or one of the billions around the world who play games, welcome to E3 2019. This right now is the single most creative and energizing time in gaming history. Games and gamers together now have the sheer magnitude to be a significant unifying force for the world. The expanding universe of gaming has opened a new era of creative possibility, with more games, more creators, and more industry players than ever before. And gamers were everywhere. In under 2 decades, the number of players in the world has more than tripled. Over 2 billion of us now play games in every region and on every continent. And with new technological leaps, we get to play whatever we want, with whomever we want, and wherever we want. On Team Xbox, every decision is guided by our belief that gaming is for everyone. My team and I are single-minded in our resolve to bring everyone the games they want, to connect everyone to play with the friends they want, and to empower everyone to play wherever they want. This is why we keep innovating hardware and services. It's why we're uniting communities through crossplay, and it's why we're investing with new distinctive creators. Above all, gaming is for you. This is why we scour the world for your next new games. This today is the largest showcase of games on any stage, anywhere this year. Today, from the thousands of games in development across Xbox One and Windows PC, we're highlighting 60 games for you, including 14 games from Xbox Game Studios and over 30 games premiering in Xbox Game Pass. In addition to showcasing all of these games over the show, we'll also announce what's next at Xbox Game Studios. Sharing our expansive plans for streaming, and of course, revealing more about our next new console. So thank you for joining us today. Let's jump in.
Kestis.
Saw Gerrera.
I'm here on Jedi business.
Jedi are dead.
Not all of them.
A Jedi.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan. The Jedi are not yet lost. Hope is not yet lost.
Yeah, I'm okay. You all right? No, we are not doing that again.
World premiere.
What the?
Peter Shannon, a 9-year-old boy, went missing on Saturday. This afternoon, the authorities are organizing a search in the Black Hills Forest.
Okay, Bullet. Let's find this kid. Wait up, Bullet! Bullet!
Where am I?
Okay, Bullet. Let's find this kid.
V, my man, you made it. You blowing up all over the news. Are you alone?
I just want the money.
You got the chip? All right, start her up, Bug. Why don't you go to the bathroom, wash up? We gonna be with you in a minute.
What?
Oh, come on, man. Your neck, it's a mess.
While hotel security has yet to comment, we do know the suspect seems to have fled the scene.
Initiating combat mode.
Go!
Destination confirmed.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about! Alright, in and out! We're rich! Oh, we are going to the major leagues, Jackie! okay? Oh, no. Okay. Get to a clinic now.
Mr. Wells' condition is critical.
Go!
Immediate medical
It's gonna
help
be okay.
is required.
Just hold on. Hey, just think about all the good that we're gonna have, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Take the chip decks.
Every corporal cop in this city is gonna be blasting down these doors after what you and your psycho friend did. We didn't need all this tension, damn it.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Please welcome Keanu Reeves.
How's it going? Hello, Los Angeles. E3. Yeah. All right. Good to see you. Thank you. All right. All right. I gotta talk to you about something. We gotta talk to you about something. CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077. All right. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077. They were going on and on about how they'd create this vast open world with a branching storyline, how you'd be able to customize your character through in-game choices. And it's not something I knew before, but I was excited by. And I'm always drawn to fascinating stories. Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future, where body modification has become an obsession. You play as an outlaw, an enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly of the city. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking. All right. So, I guess I gotta finish this, so tell me. Do you guys want to know when the release date? Yeah. All right. Then check this out. Ready now?
Whoa, hey, easy.
Mr. Hansen. Am I right for the job? Okay, I'm in.
Few have gone through to the other side.
Let's do this.
World premiere.
Please welcome Head of Xbox Partnerships, Sarah Bond.
All the ID at Xbox games you just saw will premiere on Xbox Game Pass day one. At Xbox, our passion is to help you find and play the games that you love through creation, curation, and discovery. The ultimate expression of that passion is Xbox Game Pass. My team travels the globe, seeking out fan favorites and hidden gems, and crafts partnerships with their creators so that you can discover your next favorite game. Mind-blowing experiences, epic adventures, and iconic characters, all for you to explore. It has been awesome to see the record-breaking success developers have had in Xbox Game Pass, introducing their games to new players and creating lifelong fans. Since launch, we have tripled the number of partners in Game Pass, adding more games from more genres, platformers, RPG, adventure, sports, puzzles, and more every single month. And of course, every Xbox Game Studios title you see today will premiere in Game Pass day one. We are thrilled to announce new titles coming to Xbox Game Pass on console today, including Batman Arkham Knight, Metro Exodus, Hollow Knight, and Borderlands: The Handsome Collection. Amazing games that you can start playing today. Our mission at Xbox is for you to be able to play any game with anyone, anywhere. And we know for many of you that means PC. That is why last month we announced Xbox Game Pass for PC. Today, the Game Pass journey on PC begins. Now, PC players can discover their next favorite game with Xbox Game Pass. We have curated over 100 games just for PC, including favorites like Imperator Rome and Football Manager 2019. And for the first time on PC, starting with Halo Reach, the entire Master Chief Collection. We are thrilled to share that Xbox Game Pass for PC launches in open beta today.
Whenever you're ready.
Are you game? Are you game? I'm down for a little competition. Got sweat dripping down my temples. But this power is something fundamental, though. I can feel the hum and the rush of the crowd. I can hear the claps and the noise getting loud. What you gonna do when the clock runs out? The time is now. The time is now. Do you wanna play? What do you say? Are you game? Are you game?
Xbox Game Pass for PC is here now. Try it out by downloading the all-new Xbox app on Windows. And if you want it all, we have created a membership just for you, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. you get everything. Xbox Game Pass for console with over 100 great games, Xbox Live Gold, an unrivaled gaming community, and now, Xbox Game Pass for PC at no additional charge. And because it's E3, everyone can jump in and play today for $1. Now go discover your next favorite game.
World premiere.
Do you remember a time when armies were built and powerful cities collapsed? When the smallest of choices echoed through the pages of history? It was an age of empires.
Razors? I ain't seen you in a donkey's age. Welcome to beautiful Colorado, home to the Purple Mountains Master G of the Rockies. Hike through colorful canyons. Get up close and personal with a wild and woolly wildlife. Sample home-cooked delicacies. Eat where the locals eat. Visit Colorado Springs. There's so much to see and do in this post-apocalyptic winter wonderland. Meet new people. Make new friends. Colorado has colorful characters and friendly faces everywhere you look. See our beautiful airport. And don't forget to pick yourself up a nifty souvenir. So don't be shy. Colorado's waiting for you. First round's on me. First round's on you.
Please welcome head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty.
of our mission. Over the last year, we added 7 new game development studios to Xbox. It's fantastic to see some of these studios already sharing new games on our E3 stage, and there's more to come. I have the privilege of working with some of the best studios around the globe, and for me, great studios are about people, teams, and ideas. Our success comes down to one thing: creating great games that players love. And great games come from great developers. That's why I'm honored today to announce that joining Xbox Studios is Double Fine Productions. Double Fine has been a beacon of creativity and spirit in game development for almost 20 years, with classic games like Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, and Broken Age. I'm looking forward to Double Fine joining Xbox and seeing what we create together. Please join me in welcoming the founder and president of Double Fine Productions, Tim Schafer.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Matt. We are so excited to be joining Xbox Game Studios. And I'm here to personally reassure you, Matt, I don't know what you've heard, but I'm a team player. Whatever you need from Double Fine, we'll make for you. Halo stuff, Forza stuff, Excel stuff, whatever you want, we are there. Yeah.
Tim, we just want you to make great games.
Oh, that's such a relief because I was totally lying. In that case, we brought a brand new trailer for Psychonauts 2. Take a look if you dare.
My name is Raz, and today is my first official day on the job. We're on a mission.
Rasputin?
I'm on him. Looking for me? Mia, the mission is falling apart. We've lost control of Roboto.
I put the old egg in the box and the basket in the... No, I won't tell. I won't tell anyone. I promise. No, please.
World premiere. World premiere.
I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
You want to guess what it is?
This is an outfit for a newborn. You bought it this morning. You wanted to surprise me.
I'm sorry.
You're pregnant.
You know?
I know because you already gave it to me. This has happened before.
What are you talking about? What's going on?
Someone is coming. He's going to hurt us. He says you killed your father. I need to know what happened.
Why are you doing this? My father died
of a heart attack?
No, I didn't have anything to do with...
Any second now, he's gonna knock on that door. Help me.
This isn't happening. This can't be happening.
Police, open up.
That's him.
Did you call the police?
We have a warrant. Please open the door.
I didn't do anything.
We're here to help.
Don't listen to him. I'm your only chance.
Open the door right now.
You know me. I love you. You have to believe me.
Stop.
No.
You're under arrest.
No.
Hey!
You're home. What are you doing? Are you okay?
Sleep, where do we go?
Edition. Please welcome studio head Rod Ferguson.
Thanks, everyone. We're excited to announce that Gears 5 is releasing on September 10th. And if you want to play 4 days early, you can with our Ultimate Edition or membership in the newly announced Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. With Gears of War 4, we wanted to earn your trust. But with Gears 5, we want to push the envelope by doing new things never seen in a Gears game before. And we'll tell you all about it this summer. In July, join us for our Versus multiplayer tech test, where you'll be one of the first to play our all-new competitive game type, Arcade. In August at Gamescom, go hands-on with the all-new Horde mode and see how character abilities can turn the tide on the battlefield. In September, we return to the biggest Gears campaign ever, where we'll explore more of Kate's harrowing journey and celebrate our launch on September 10th. But what are we talking about today? Today, it's a brand new way to fight the swarm. In Escape, you play as one of 3 hive busters. You and your squad infiltrate the hive, plant the bomb, and escape with your life. Because we all know the best defense is a good offense. It's everything you love about Gears, turned up to 11.
They attacked, and we lost everything. Everything except the need for revenge. This might look like a surrender, but it's not. It's an invasion.
hope you enjoyed your taste of Escape, an aggressive 3-player co-op experience perfect for your living room couch. But it's not just about busting hives. You can build them too and challenge your friends with the experiences you create. And tonight, join me on Mixer as we challenge these 3 WWE superstars, Xavier Woods, AJ Styles, and Tyler Breeze, to survive a gameplay deep dive from right here in the Hive. For those at home, for the next 2 days, you and your friends can play in select Microsoft stores. So good luck out running the swarm, and we'll see you on the leaderboards. Oh, and for anyone who pre-orders or plays within the first week, we've got something special just for you.
When my father saved my life, he told me never to forget who I am, where I come from. But in this place, nobody even wants to know my name. Getting attached is deadly. Because when darkness comes, I might be gone. The virus tore society apart, but I won't let it turn me into an animal. Staying alive became the essence of our existence, yet life must be more than just survival. Every day, the disease tries to crush us and make us forget who we are, but I keep fighting. My name is Aiden, and I am infected.
World premiere.
welcome Ralph Fulton.
Combine McLaren's passion for design with about 500,000 of LEGO's legendary bricks. You get this incredible life-size LEGO Speed Champions McLaren Senna. Combine the beauty and freedom of Horizon with the playful fun of LEGO, you get the Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champions expansion. You will drive this Senna and more LEGO Speed Champions cars in an entirely new world, packed with inventive new challenges, new areas to explore, and loads of bricks to smash. The Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champions expansion launches this week. I'll see you there.
My mission, find the father I never knew.
My mission, find a hero I've never met. He hasn't radioed in days.
He hasn't been seen since the outbreak.
The last time I heard his voice,
The last place he was seen was in Trumbull Valley. I've only heard whispers
I've only heard legend.
of unseen horrors. Here, we are the many.
Here, we can become stronger.
For so long, I was just surviving.
Now people are counting on me.
This is where my story could end.
This is where my story could begin.
I thought we had seen everything.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
World premiere.
Those of you who have played Phantasy Star know that this game had influenced many of the most popular games today. So with great delight, we welcome Sega back to our stage and Phantasy Star back on Xbox. As we said, our goal on Team Xbox is to bring you the world's best games. Meeting with developers, playing their games, and introducing you to their games, these are the best parts of my job. Back at E3 2017, when I first met with the creators of this next game, they shared their ambition to bring their massively popular game with its passionate community of 650 million PC players to the entire world. I'm happy to announce our partnership with the legendary team at Smilegate. Their approach to game design demonstrates sheer creative boldness. Next year, you'll discover the newest entry in this landmark franchise. On console, for the very first time, only on Xbox. This is Crossfire X.
World premiere. World premiere.
sirens in the universe. I used to be one of them. My name is Lilith, and I need you. Billion followers demand we join or die. We've got another proposal for them.
World premiere.
I doubt you could even imagine it. That which commanded the stars, giving life its fullest brilliance. The Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. Shattered by someone or something. Don't tell me you don't see it. Look up at the sky. It burns.
Please welcome back Phil Spencer.
From multinational studios to one-person passion projects, thousands of Xbox games are in development for you right now. Just today, we showed you 60 games. We are now experiencing an unmatched expansion of creativity on Xbox. Gaming for you means connecting all of these creators to all of you. Last fall, we announced our ambition to empower everyone, everywhere to play by bringing Xbox to the cloud. We will do this in 2 ways, through Project xCloud and through console streaming. 2 months ago, we connected all Xbox developers to Project xCloud. Today, we invite those of you here at E3 for our first public hands-on of Project xCloud. To experience the freedom to play right here at the show. And you'll have 2 ways to stream. There's a new platform feature, console streaming. It turns your Xbox One into your own personal and free xCloud server. Whether you're using a console in our data center or your console at home, this October, you'll be able to use our hybrid gaming cloud to play your games wherever you go. Where you play is now entirely your choice. You decide. So let's talk about our next console. For us, the console is vital and central to our experience. We heard you. A console should be designed and built and optimized for one thing and one thing only, gaming. So the same team that created the world's most powerful console, Xbox One X, and innovated its groundbreaking processor and the Elite controller, the same team that engineered the world-class compatibility of today's Xbox One consoles, the same team that set the bar for live gaming services with Xbox Live, this same team set out on a new mission: to create the future of gaming for you.
When we think about the future of gaming, it's not just PC, it's not just console, it's not just mobile, it's really all of the above.
Xbox is all about choice. We're investing in technology all throughout the game stack.
The games you want with the people you want on the devices that you want.
And for us, that starts with our next generation console.
We don't want to build just another console. We truly want it to be transformative.
More immersion, more exploration, more detail.
How do we make it easier for people to get into the game, to stay in the game?
One of the things that gamers and developers are incredibly excited about is reducing load times.
I'm an RPG gamer, and so loading screens are a thing.
You're sitting there in the fake elevator because you know that the game's loading in the background. This is just an elevator ride forever.
That's our goal with gaming, is that you don't have those pauses.
This generation is going to be a bigger leap than any generation we've done before.
At the heart of our next generation console is our custom design processor, leveraging the latest Zen 2 and Navi technology from our partners at AMD. From a pure processing perspective, this is 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. We're leveraging high bandwidth GDDR6 to ensure that we're getting the best performance possible.
It's going to usher in resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before. Never seen before.
We're looking at frame rates up to 120 frames per second.
8K capability, variable refresh rate.
Next gen ray tracing. It's real time because it's hardware accelerated for the first time ever.
What I'm personally most excited about is the SSD.
We've created a new generation of SSDs. We're actually using the SSD as virtual RAM.
We're seeing more than 40 times performance increases over the current generation.
The combination of the SoC and the solid-state drive are really what gives you a totally new experience.
Now we can take all of that power and apply it back into the scene, so we can actually generate more life in that world and bring it to the gamer in a seamless way.
So that then you're fully experiencing what the game developer wants you to experience.
When you can move through worlds without waiting for screens to load, that speed, that performance is what the next generation is about.
This is the most immersive console experience ever.
What we really want to do is give developers the power to build the game they've always envisioned.
We have hundreds of people across both our first-party studios as well as our third-party studios working on those next-generation experiences today.
There's an amazing commitment to content at Xbox Game Studios. 13 studios, 7 in the last year. That's a big family.
At 343, for us, it's always about more seamless worlds with the next generation. We can bring the world to life in a way we've never experienced Halo before.
We're delivering 4 generations of content better than you've ever seen them before.
This console is especially awesome for Game Pass members. With the faster load times, you're going to be able to experience all the games within just the snap of your fingers.
We're giving gamers the option to connect across devices and across platforms in a way that we never were able to before.
This isn't just a console launch. This is about the future of gaming.
Your games, your achievements, your progression, your accessories, your console gaming experience with Xbox, it all comes forward with Scarlet. It eats monsters for breakfast.
This is Project Scarlet, the most powerful and highest performing console we've ever designed. Built for creators to unleash their boldest creative visions and optimized for players to enjoy the ultimate gaming experience on a console anywhere. Immersive experiences begin at the very heart of the console, at the silicon level itself. Together with our partners at AMD, we have co-engineered and custom designed a state-of-the-art processor for Project Scarlet. Power you could see defined previous generations. Power and performance you can see and feel defines Project Scarlet. When we talk about freedom to play, when we talk about Xbox in the cloud, when we talk about streaming your games, Project Scarlet and all of its power and all of its performance is the foundation of our future in console and the formation of our future in cloud. We launched Xbox 18 years ago with a game reviewers called the definitive reason to own an Xbox. Well, because humanity was and is worth saving, next holiday, we will launch Project Scarlet with Halo.
Protocol accepted.
Daddy's listening. Can you say hi? Hi. And how big are you? How big are you? Can you tell Daddy how big you are? Are you so big? So big. And can you sing? Good singing. How about I miss you? Miss you. And I love you. I love you. I love you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. And I can't wait to see you. Can you say see you? See you. Good, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.
SC Pelican Echo 216. Can you hear me? This is UNS. Looks like the main power cells are fried. Armor shut down. Triggering survival mode. I'm going to try to overwrite. Okay. If you can hear me in there, I hope you're ready. Please don't die. Please. Don't die. Yes! 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 We're going home! Oh, welcome back, Chief. I rerouted what little power I had into your suit. Looks like there's a problem with the servos in your hands. Stay calm. You've been out there a while. I know I saw something in here to check your armor's diagnostics. Whoa, easy there, big guy. You're not...
Status report.
Status report? What? There's something you need to see, Chief. We lost. Lost everything. There's nothing left for us here. I don't think over here is. No. Not then. Not again. We need to run.
No. We need to fight. Get ready.
I chose you because you were special. I knew we would be perfect together. And I was right.
Show you how to break through. Sky's the limit, then just watch me make the stars move.
have you breeding, Rami. We can't have more of you being born.
Man, that was a hell of a conference. They showed a lot of stuff. I'm going to pull up. We had our mods were running down a dock with everything shown. Welcome, everyone, once again from /Twitch. Where to even begin with that? Do we start with Keanu fucking Reeves, maybe? Is that where...
Isn't that the entire thing? That was just it?
Keanu goddamn Reeves. Yeah, I'm going to try to find that trailer real quick. Co, walk us through your thoughts on what you saw from Cyberpunk. That's what I thought.
He's elated beyond rational thought right now.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Did they put that trailer out, by the way? Let's see if I can find it. Cyberpunk.
I don't know, but that was
trailer.
That was the thing.
Can I say this on the main Twitch? Keanu motherfucking Reeves! Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Like, how was that not leaked? Or how does that work?
That's the best kept secret.
Oh my god!
100%.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, all the other leaks seemed like they were not that important anyway.
Yeah.
I got the vapors, y'all.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that.
No, whether those leaks were like on purpose or actually accidental or whatever, I'm sure they were like, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about those other fucking leaks. As long as Keanu doesn't get out, that shit doesn't get out, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, that was definitely.
I loved how much fun he was having. He was just having fun on that stage. He was just there.
He had a smile on his face the whole time.
He just stopped talking and just went, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was just great.
I mean,
it was great.
That's all you had to do is just say Cyberpunk. Just hang out, Keanu Reeves. It was good. It was good.
Could you even think of something that would be more hype than that? That might actually appear. That might actually happen.
No.
I didn't know that was even on the board for something that could happen. I don't know. That was.
Well, we know. We know he's involved in games now with John Wick Hex as well, but
yeah,
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming.
What a name to attach to your already like gigantic name in the Cyberpunk brand. So
yep,
we got a little bit of story here too. Actually, I mean this entire thing was story based, but yeah.
So one thing kind of interesting. So this is one of the first times we haven't seen a lot of information from Cyberpunk, but I don't know if you guys picked up on this too. It looks like we may be this guy, we may be that character, and he gets somehow killed, and then Keanu Reeves finds him in a junkyard, and that may be where the game starts. Except you may be in pieces, so you create your character by like putting yourself back together for whatever Keanu's going to have you do. That's kind of interesting because I was always under the assumption that you were going to have like your own backstory, kind of like you're just a nameless face in the crowd. But there's a lot of exposition here about this guy. So I wonder if we're going to be like a reincarnation of him in some capacity.
Now, I don't.
Could be wrong, of course. I'm just guessing. Completely.
What if we can actually fuck Keanu Reeves in this game? What if he's a romance? What if we can romance Keanu Reeves?
Well, first of all, you don't fuck him; he fucks you.
That's true. That's true. It's very true.
And second of all, hey, dream big.
Is there going to be a behind-the-scenes motion cap on the bonus collector's edition?
I can just imagine like the back of the box. It's like open world, deep skill system. Fuck Keanu Reeves. Like just like a bullet point.
No,
like,
no,
right down
they would just drop the Reeves and it would just say "fuck Keanu." Yeah, it's good. It's
well,
good.
I gotta tell you, since I'm actually here and doing like the game interviews and stuff like that for Twitch.
Yeah.
Came out on stage. I just had like visions of me like interviewing him like at our little like studio thing that we got set up and just going like, I love you. Like doing the whole Chris Farley shit. Like, you're awesome. God, so stupid.
Yeah.
Just do the same thing as Zero in John Wick 3. Like, it works. Just go sit next to him and put your leg against his, and then just kind of try to be smooth about it.
It'll be great. What a thing that was. And then the collector's edition, all that stuff. Code, did you actually end up getting the stuff pre-ordered or no?
No, I couldn't find any. It looks like it's the same situation where they announced the pre-orders before the infrastructure was ready. So yeah, it looks like most of the stores don't have it up yet.
Gotcha.
Am I the only one that's most excited about Flight Simulator? Am I just the nerd here?
What was that?
Like a whole Flight Simulator? Like I just want Flight Simulator. Like skip everything else. But if they put Keanu Reeves in that, sure, that'll make it better. But otherwise, I really want Flight Simulator.
You're doing Flight Simulator and you look over at your co-pilot and Keanu Reeves just like...
Yeah, just like sitting there. just very excited about how you're flying. That's it. Just like, oh, that's very good.
Here's some Flight Simulator for you. Since this is powered by the satellite data and the Azure AI, I really wonder like what the scale of this is going to look like. Because if I skip ahead here, like it's pretty detailed in terms of what's there, right?
Yeah, give me Earth.
Yeah, it said the thing at the beginning with the Google Maps. I'm assuming maybe they just have a really solid tech for detecting elevation, and maybe they can pick a place in Google Maps, and it'll just kind of like build you your level to fly around in.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I don't know what else it would have done with the tie-in, but I will say, looking at those cityscapes and the complete variance of the building heights, and just thinking about how many 3D objects you're seeing from the top of that plane is mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Zeke, come back to us. Zeke, you're so tiny. You're so tiny. There we go. Now you're starting to grow. I'll have to look into that for tonight's, but can't do anything about it right now. Anyways, this looks really good. Definitely like one of the prettiest looking games. What was that, Co?
No, chat. Maybe I was completely wrong. I could have sworn it said something about a mapping system at the beginning. Maybe it wasn't Google Maps.
It said satellite imaging or something like. Let me go.
Okay.
It says this.
Okay.
Right here.
Imaging and Azure.
Yeah, powered by satellite data and Azure AI is what it said.
Oh, okay. I just thought Google Maps. I'm sorry. Probably Bing Maps.
Bing Maps. Everyone's favorite map.
There we go. Gotta get our terminology right there.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm excited about Cyberpunk, but I still don't feel I know what the game is. Like I still don't know. It's like the same thing I had with the Elder Ring. Like I want it, but I'm still not.
With Cyberpunk?
Elden Ring. Yeah.
It's just
last year they had the 45-minute gameplay trailer.
Yeah, and but it still didn't really tell me what was up with it. Like, why am I doing these things? Where am I going? What am I building? Like, it's like, yeah, it has systems like Deus Ex, but what is the
narrative direction?
Well, it's like showing 45 minutes of Days Gone, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I'm on a bike driving around killing zombies, but like, what does it tie together in a way that's meaningful? I have faith in CD Projekt.
Yeah, but what about Keanu Reeves?
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why it worked out. Because I think without Keanu Reeves, if I had seen that, I would have kind of been like, yeah, cool. They brought out Keanu, and yeah, sure, through the roof. Like, I'm excited. But,
yeah. What was that thing?
I was just gonna say, are we gonna go down the list, or are we just picking out stuff that
we'll pick out stuff for now, and then once they bounce back over to Twitch on their own, they're gonna be doing some Baldur's Gate 3 stuff, so we'll probably check that out as well while they're talking about it. But yeah, we'll just bounce around for now.
When is that?
Immediately following us, as soon as we stop talking, in about 10 minutes. Baldur's Gate.
Well, guys, it's been great. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Enjoy the Baldur's Gate 3 coverage.
We'll show it here, and you guys will see it over at /Twitch on your own, and we'll stop talking over there as well. Now, Rami, I want to get to this before we get cut off. The console stuff. They said a lot of words. There was a lot of technical jargon, a lot of DDR G6 and some stuff and some SSDs and SSDs and stacks on stacks.
Yeah,
can you talk about that?
What they're basically saying, like in many ways, what they're saying is they're not saying anything different from what Sony is kind of saying. They're building a much more powerful device. Like Sony, they're focusing on loading times. Like Sony, they seem to be focused on connectivity. I feel more and more like the consoles are becoming just very powerful computers, which for me as a developer is extremely exciting, right? As a developer, that's where we want to be, where we look at a platform and you just go like, okay, we should put it on that too. And I think that part of that is why I'm so excited about the Double Fine announcement in particular, more than anything else. Because the consoles are all going to be powerful. They're all going to be fast. What it's going to be about is content. It's going to be about having the studios having the developers, having the games, and they're just picking up all the right studios, grabbing Ninja Theory,
They really are.
grabbing Double Fine, grabbing like every time they pick up a studio, I'm just going like, ooh, I'm gonna miss those games on PlayStation, or I'm gonna miss those games, like on other platforms. That shows that they're buying the right studios. They're creating a portfolio that is exciting, but they're funding games that those studios otherwise would not be able to make.
Sure.
And that's where the future is, I think, for a lot of consoles. It's less about these games are only here. It's more about we have these games come from us to every device, every screen you have. So yeah, this was good. This was super strong, I think.
Very strong conference. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Co, you got that look on your
Definitely
face.
better.
Sorry to cut you off. Co, what's going on?
Little cyberpunk thing here. Y'all know what I said earlier about the count thing? And Boone from chat just said that if you haven't seen already on GOG Galaxy, there's a description section for Cyberpunk that includes, quote, take the riskiest job of your life and go after a prototype implant that is the key to immortality. Basically what we saw those two guys with the chip at the beginning.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Seems about right.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. No, I definitely think they did better than Sony's E3 conference this year.
Yeah, totally. No, I think they bested Sony stuff without doubt.
It was good. No, it was an exciting conference. I didn't see anything that made me go like, meh. This was all good. It was just like game announcement, console, xCloud, everything, Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't know if
breathing.
I don't know if I was not in the E3 mindset, but like I feel I need to go like take a nap. I was bombarded with just tons and tons of games from that thing. I kept asking like, "What is it over? This is the last thing, surely, right? Oh, they haven't shown the Halo stuff yet." They showed a lot, and it didn't. I'm trying to think of a low point. It was paced very well in terms of a conference. Like they just had a ton of different stuff out there, all of which looked really cool.
Not a lot of gameplay, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Is that just me?
I gotta say,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it's very I think a lot of these games are obviously going to be Project Scarlet, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're just not at a point where they're ready to show off gameplay, or they're just not at a point where they want to do that yet. It feels like we're breathing in. This is a breathing in E3. We're gonna go quiet for a year. We're gonna hold our breath, and then next year is gonna be everything. But
yeah, I think with the Halo stuff, it's almost like cheating because all you have to do is just play those 3 fucking notes from Halo, and you're like, oh, Halo guys, it's a pretty good game. My childhood's right there, man. It's all I played the shit out of those Halo games. I'm in. So we didn't get to see too much. That CG that they showed, the cutscene they showed, looked good. Like the lighting and everything looked good when that room lit up. But it's such a small thing to judge what that console can actually do. That I agree with you. Like we're not going to see really much about it for the next year until 2020 starts, and then they'll get out there and probably blow the lid wide open with both consoles. So what do you think about it overall?
Overall, I really like the format, especially coming from a few. As those for those that don't know, we cover E3 pretty much every year. A lot of time, me, JP, and a smattering of Twitch personalities. It's a lot of fun, but it kind of leads us to track trends. And one thing we noticed in E3 over the last couple of years is that they started to do a lot more like artsy stuff and less about games and more about the show. So it's nice to see the format return to being more about the games. It was basically just game, little discussion about the game.
Yeah.
That's great. I can tell you I prefer that greatly. I don't watch E3 for the pomp and circumstance. You know, I'm here for the game info. I'm here for the trailers. I'm here for the reveals. So I like how Xbox kept the pace up the whole time. I will say I was really hoping to see more from Obsidian and Exile. The Obsidian trailer was good. I mean, it looked like Outer Worlds is really coming along, but I'm ready to see stuff that's going to separate Outer Worlds from everything else. I want to see what's going to make this the next New Vegas. I have to admit there were a couple scenes, especially with the people. In fact, I even made the comment during the show, like, "Oh, look, it's New Vegas." Like,
dude,
they kind of looked like they were right out of New Vegas.
It looked like the animated New Vegas shit. I didn't even play the game, and I picked up on that.
Yeah.
So
and it's not even the same engine.
Yeah,
it's UE4. It's not Gamebryo anymore. So it's like I was really hoping that they were going to showcase this stuff that's going to make Outer Worlds the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get that. That being said, the release date was great. Looks like it's October 24th, I want to say. And that means that with the release date right around the corner, we should probably be seeing a lot more information come out pretty wildly. Also, okay, we got to talk about this a little bit.
Let's talk.
Wasteland 3.
Yeah, that's
right. That
yeah.
dude, I knew what I was watching at the beginning, but that was not expected. Wasteland 2 was definitely a kind of dystopian. I mean, there was some humor, but it was a very serious game about kind of like the trials and tribulations of a dying world. I feel like they're doing the same thing Rage 2 did, where the last game was kind of a more serious narrative experience, and now this one looks to be just like a completely zany, humor focused, like more cartoony. I don't know, man. Like I was a little surprised by this. I definitely want a lot more information. I'm hoping they're keeping the more kind of serious narrative aspects of it, because this looked a little over the top.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit much. A little bit much.
A little bit much.
Yeah.
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 Does this have a date? What was there a date on this?
I don't know.
Well, there's a Fig project up for Wasteland 3, so we've been getting a lot of info over the times. But I don't know if there's a release date for it yet. I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, gameplay looks
I gotta
great.
say the presentation was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got like 2 minutes before we get cut off, so I'm gonna get Zeke's opinions before we do. Zeke, any big things from the show for you?
Well, obviously Keanu. Keanu's hard to beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blair Witch. Like I don't know why they decided to use that particular like name, but the game looked fucking cool. Because I think that title might turn some people off just automatically, but it looked like well constructed and spooky, scary, all that shit. I'm pretty hyped for that. Let's see, Psychonauts 2. I'm still waiting. Just want to play it. That 12 minutes game.
That looked really good. Yeah.
That one room Groundhog Day kind of a thing, and I mean they put it in like the middle as a small thing, like on purpose to make you feel like boxed in or something like that. I was hyped about that.
The game is incredible. I've been playing early builds since years, and Louise has been working on it, like slowly chipping away. This is a work of extreme precision, and it's going to be very, very. The entire ID at Xbox segment was really good, honestly. Like Dead Static, tabs, crosscode, and 12 minutes. Totem Teller. I saw you all react to the art style of Totem Teller. It was that like glitchy, lots of diagonal art game. That's beautiful as well. The indie segment was really good. 12 minutes is definitely like.
It looked really good.
I'm glad Zeke also picked that up as a standout because that's a thing.
It looked really good. All right, well, thanks everyone over at /Twitch. We're gonna keep going here, talking about everything, going in depth, talking about all the Dark Souls stuff. But over there, I think you guys are gonna see some Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. So
we're gonna watch that too, right?
We're gonna also check that out. Yeah, we'll also be tuning in and giving our thoughts. We'll see you guys later tonight for Bethesda. Make sure that you're ready for some disappointment. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Thanks, Twitch.
Disappointment with small bits of okayness. Maybe we'll get a Doom Eternal release date.
We'll see. We'll see.
My presence here does not mean I agree with that.
All right. Thanks, everyone over at Twitch. We'll see you guys later tonight. Anyways, we're going to keep going on. Where do you guys want to be?
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
to E3 on Twitch. I'm Anna Prosser, your host, joined by my co-host Rachel Querico, here on the stage with Sven from Larian and Mike from Dungeons & Dragons, and we are here to talk some Baldur's Gate 3, which I am so excited about. We just watched the trailer. We saw a transformation happening, and what we saw at the end there, in case people aren't familiar with D&D creatures, was a mind flayer. Tell us about a mind flayer. What is a mind flayer?
So a mind flayer is in D&D they refer to as aberrations, which means they are creatures that are not native to the sort of the multiverse of D&D. They come from somewhere else, somewhere kind of mysterious. It's called the Far Realm. That's what people know of it as, but we don't know much about it exactly. But what we do know is that like a lot of Far Realm creatures, they're parasitic. What you're seeing is essentially the process of seramorphosis, which is a word which is a lot easier to type than to say back when we were messing with it, creating it. But the idea is that mind flayers convert humanoids into more of their kind and spread almost like a virus. And so you're seeing an unfortunate member of the Flaming Fist go through a process that normally takes 7 days, but is only taking a few moments. And yeah, he's undergoing a serious life change. And joining the ranks of the mind flayers. The most notable thing about mind flayers is they like to eat human brains. That's essentially what they have to subsist on. Well, humanoid
as you do.
Yeah, as one is. Yeah.
I'm curious because there are kind of a few types of people that are watching that trailer. There are people who are like, tell me everything that's going to happen in Baldur's Gate 3 because I played all of the Baldur's Gate and I love Baldur's Gate. And then there are people that are like, I don't know anything about this, but that looked gross and cool. So what would you say, what was the thinking behind, this is what we're going to put in our trailer for Baldur's Gate 3? What should we learn from this trailer about Baldur's Gate 3?
Well, literally what you said, actually. It was meant to introduce people that don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons to the coolness of Dungeons & Dragons. You see a transformation. You see a scenario like Invasion of the Body Snatchers going on. You see a big octopus-like spaceship in the air. You see mind flayers flying. But if you know Dungeons & Dragons, and if you know Baldur's Gate, you see a member of the Flaming Fist. You see the blushing mermaid in the background. That's like the tavern that's there. So you see plenty of references to the original Baldur's Gate, and so you recognize things. And you understand also that, hey, hold on a minute, a mind flayer doesn't produce that fast. It takes much more time. So what's going on here? So there's two levels to the teaser trailer.
So what is going on here, guys?
Well, there's a problem. And there's going to be a gathering of adventurers to deal with the problem. That is pretty much the setup of what's going to be happening. And there's mind flayers involved.
Well, now these adventurers, we have encountered Baldur's Gate in 1 and 2, and we've met some adventurers that we love. And now, how much am I going to have to know about them and those previous adventures to jump right into Baldur's Gate 3?
Same thing, really. If you've played the original Baldur's Gate, you will see iconic characters, iconic creatures, iconic locations. And if you haven't played the original Baldur's Gate, you say, oh my god, that's so cool. All right? You say, what is this big floating eye? What is that?
It's not going to hurt me to not know the stories of the previous characters.
No, it's been made so that somebody because when we announced that we were doing Baldur's Gate 3 in our office, we had two reactions. We had, first of all, the guys that went completely ecstatic. And then we had the younger generation that said, what's Baldur's Gate? So there's a lot of people that haven't played it. And so for them, this should be a really good introduction to what Forgotten Realms is like.
If someone has never played a Baldur's Gate before, how would you describe what kind of game it is? If I'm a certain type of gamer, what type of gamer would enjoy playing the Baldur's Gate games?
So you have to be into fantasy, so there's going to be a bit of that. But essentially, it is a video game that brings the experience that you get when you're playing a tabletop game to computers or to console. I didn't say that. to video games. So what does that mean? When you are playing a tabletop campaign, you're going to get a reason to go on an adventure. You are going to be given systems with which you can overcome the challenges that the game master throws at you. What we're doing is we're doing literally the same thing. We are giving you a whole bunch of systems that you can play with. You're going to be given really interesting challenges, and then it's going to be up to you and your creativity to deal with these challenges. And so what that means is that at the end of the day, if you are going to talk to you, for instance, and you've both played, let's say, in single player, and you'll talk about your adventure will be different because you'll have made different decisions than she will have made. And so that's really the type of game that it is. Your decisions define the adventure that you're going to be on, against the background, obviously, of an overall narrative. And the way that you're going to shape that adventure is going to be by making decisions, tough decisions, by how you treat your companions, and by how do you overcome those challenges. What do you select as ways of overcoming things? So, for instance, if you pick, I'm going to be playing as a ranger, or if I'm going to be playing as a wizard or a warlock, it's going to already have a very big impact on how the game is going to react to you.
And so oh, go ahead.
Oh no. Leading on to that, you know, you talk about the involvement of it's a D&D adjacent game. It's the rules of 5e, and Baldur's Gate is a game that's been around since before 5e. So how has the gameplay been updated to reflect the current state of D&D?
Okay, so the original Baldur's Gate were 2nd edition games.
Yep.
So we're 5th edition. 20 years have gone by.
Indeed.
I think that one of the coolest things of 5th edition is how accessible it is. I mean, we've been teaching journalists how to play D&D and preparing for promotion for this game. And they were up and running in 5 minutes. You know, like you explain it instantly. It's very easy to explain how D&D works these days. The ambition is that we're going to be able to do the same thing with the game. So you're going to roll into it very easily, and you don't have to worry about any complicated mechanics, but it makes sense. You're going to say, oh, well, I can get advantage by doing this. And then you'll say, well, I should be maybe doing more of this, because otherwise I'm just going to die here. And so like this, you're going to find your way in the game, and the game leads you in very gently into all the cool things that you can do.
I want to ask too, because we just spent some time at learning about Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, which is the adventure for Dungeons & Dragons itself, and I've heard that there are some tie-ins between that and what we're seeing in Baldur's Gate 3, so kind of making a fully immersive universe of D&D for those of us who play tabletop and video games. Can you tell us a little bit about those tie-ins?
Yeah, so what we're looking to do is, there are a lot of D&D fans who have just come to the game recently who maybe didn't play Baldur's Gate back in the day, or if you played it back then, you want to see what's the current state of the city. So the idea of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, it's our next big campaign. It's releasing in September 17th. And the idea is, we think of Baldur's Gate as having its own story arc. You know, you have Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. We did an adventure called Murder in Baldur's Gate that came out a few years ago. And then, so Descent into Avernus is the next chapter, and that gives you a chance to catch up. It's been 100 years in the timeline of the Forgotten Realms since Baldur's Gate 2, the events in that game. And so we give you the chance to give you an overview of the city, see who the important movers and shakers, what's the tone and what's the environment of the area like. And then we also give you a full level 1 to 13 campaign, where you get to essentially decide to save, or maybe not save, Baldur's Gate from the forces of the Nine Hells. And so what that does is it bridges the gap and sets us up for the next chapter, the chapter after Descent into Avernus, which is the story of Baldur's Gate 3. You know, we see that as all one part of one vast epic, where each piece then informs the next piece coming. So it really gives you a chance. It's a prequel. That's how we've thought of it. And Adam Lee, the narrative designer who led the creation of Descent into Avernus, he actually spent, 3 weeks in Belgium with the Larian team, working on, you know, here's the tone we're looking for Baldur's Gate. I was actually, everyone else is watching the trailer and seeing the gruesome transformation, and I'm like, the architecture is exactly right, the type of stone, like I'm seeing all that stuff getting nailed. Like, you know, I just want to walk down the streets of Baldur's Gate, you know, and that's what I'm really looking forward to in the game. But it's really, you know, building on that legacy. So if you are coming to it and don't know much about Baldur's Gate, that's the perfect entry point. And if you're a tabletop gamer, we're hopefully giving you a really great adventure to go on and set the table for then what the next chapter is going to look like.
Well, and as someone so invested in the little details of Baldur's Gate and the greater world, how do you think Larian Studios has done justice to this? Because your other games have been so in-depth. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. There are so many directions to go, so many subplots, so many ways to interact with the world that it feels like one of the first true gameplay styles that is as wide a potential as you have when you play a tabletop game.
Yeah, it's been a great match. Like very early on, like when I didn't know about this until the deal was signed. Like, you know, that's when you know a deal's serious, and they don't let the creatives know until it's done. In our first story meeting, I remember laying out the map of Baldur's Gate, of the Sword Coast, and just diving in. It felt like we were just working with an extended D&D family. You know, everyone just coming together and working on the storyline. And normally I really love my job, but now, like, having to help approve the story, it's like, I already know where it's like, oh, I want to play this game. I want to erase my memory just to go back and play through. Like, you know, like it's been fantastic, you know, and seeing the real, I think a lot of our design culture is very similar. You know, this idea of open-ended problem solving, stories really driven by the player, even just the open-ended nature, you know, for Divinity, you know, the approach you've taken of having a very community-driven process, that really matches up very well with us culturally, you know, from the game design and world building and storytelling. So it's felt like just an extension of what we were doing in the tabletop space.
And I have heard that our expectation for when we can get our hands on this is whenever it's finished, right? So why was that so important?
People have been waiting for this game for a very long time, including my own people. So we have to make this the game that it deserves to be, and that sometimes takes time.
Absolutely.
So we're going to give it its time. We're going to work together with our community to like evolve this game into what it needs to be, and then when the time is ready, we'll release it.
Well, we can't wait. Thank you guys so much for coming to spend some time with us here on the Twitch stage. I'm stoked to see Baldur's Gate 3 and everything else that you guys have prepared for us. But for now, we've got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more from E3 on Twitch.
Get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Hey everyone, welcome back to E3 on Twitch. I'm Kelly Link, joined here by Frank, aka DJ Tech Life. I'm too excited to be
She's so
next to you.
excited.
Man, Frank, how's it going? How is your E3 so far?
E3 has been amazing. I mean, look at what happened. It's absolutely crazy. I'm having a great time here. It's always good to be at E3. It's a dream come true to be here. I mean, this is my second time back, and it just gets better every year.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're saying so much has already happened, but it's day one.
It's day one.
Right? There's still,
crazy.
And not just day one, it is halfway through day one.
Right. We still have more coming. Who knows what the surprises are?
So let's talk a little bit about the Microsoft press conference that we got to see. Were there any games that really stood out to you?
Oh my gosh.
Too many? Okay.
Yes, that's oh my God. So Cyberpunk, obviously, Cyberpunk 2077, Keanu Reeves. I mean, everyone freaked out about that. I was freaking out about it. All the leaks that were going through. No one knew.
No one knew.
No one knew. And then how do you keep something like that on the wraps is a question, right? Like, my God.
Also, what an incredible man.
What? Yeah.
What did he say? Breathtaking?
Breathtaking. I mean, I think everyone has that man crush. I mean, let's be real. You know.
True. It's true.
Yes.
Any games though besides Cyberpunk that really stuck out to you?
Oh gosh, Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome
Finally
back.
making it to the West.
Yes, finally, and bringing the juice too. I mean,
you have
it
a
looked
little
great.
bit of a personal story with that, right?
Yes. So Sega contacted me long time ago. It was like, I think it was like 5 years ago or so. It was in Japanese. It was a Japanese closed beta that they were bringing over for people that had some kind of connection with Sega. And we played it, and I was like, this is okay, but it feels a little unfinished. You know, it wasn't all localized and stuff. Then they brought over a demo for a while, and then it went away. And we were like, well, I guess it's gone. And then they slapped us in the face today. So
a good slap.
A good slap. It's one that I want to be slapped again. It's that great. So I'm very, very excited about that. So
man, for me, for us,
yeah,
Dragon Ball.
Oh, don't even start.
So part of me is, you know, I'm gonna maybe play on the little bit of like both sides of the fence here. Obviously, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but we've had Budokai 1, 2, 3, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, 3, kind of telling the same story over and over and over again. How is Kakarot going to be different?
Oh my gosh, this is the thing we've been waiting for. We've been waiting to get into a storyline that we can actually play Kakarot and just see what the world is about through our eyes and actually get to physically play it instead of just watching it.
One thing that I think they're really focusing on too is that they kind of learned something from Fighters, where they took moments from the anime, from the manga, and turned them into exact replicas in the game.
Right.
You could see that in this part, like they really wanted to be a faithful rendition of a Dragon Ball game.
Yep, they're pulling all the shots, really, and it's tugging on our childhood at the same time. Things that are going on now, bringing Super into the anime world as well. A lot of people are getting into it, so a lot of new faces are going to start looking into Dragon Ball, and that's what we can only hope for, right?
Right.
So,
well, we've talked about what we're excited for, but
Yes.
chat, I'm going to ask you now. We're going to get a poll set up right now. We're going to see what you thought the most exciting thing you saw on the Microsoft press conference. Was it A, Gears 5, B, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, C, Blair Witch, or D, Keanu Reeves 2077? Also Cyberpunk, but you know, whichever one, it's pretty much synonymous now.
Cyberpunk changed their name to Keanu Reeves 2077.
Dude, Blair Witch though.
Yeah.
What, like,
out of nowhere? I have no words. I'm like that guy in the corner, you know, just sitting
Don't
there.
be
like,
that guy in the corner.
What do we do?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It looks
it's crazy.
dark and gritty. Chat, we're going to let you guys have like a minute to answer that, and I'm going to hear and air what we saw. But what do you think chat's going to say?
I mean, obvious question. I think they're going to go with the Keanu Reeves. I mean, I think that blew everybody's tops off.
Not Fallen Order?
Close. It's close. It was really close. But the Keanu Reeves was just something that just literally just swept under our feet. It was there. We had hopes and dreams of something big, and they just kind of, I don't know, dumped it on us at one time, right? I mean, it's Keanu Reeves. And he's a big part of the game, it seems like. So I'm really interested in see what kind of role he plays in it. And he has the luscious hair.
Of course, right. Ooh, another game that I was not expecting, Tales. Tales of. And while watching the press conference, I'm like, this isn't a Tales of game. Maybe it's like a Grand Blue or a different JRPG, but they're really maturing it.
I mean, the movement, everything.
Keanu Reeves, 85%.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit biased.
I think I was a little right, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, a little biased there.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Tales of.
I mean, all the other Tales games, if you guys played in JRPGs, been around for a very long time. They kind of followed a similar like pattern, and you knew a Tales game when you saw it. You could smell it, right?
The art style was very distinct.
Art style, even the fighting, right? It was like still turn-based, kind of action-y, but this looked full-on action-based. The story looked mature. The character art looked mature. Wow. I mean, if you weren't into Tales before, I think now's the time to jump into it because look at it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It was like playing a live anime, and I'm all up into that. So.
Ooh, who is it?
Huh?
Well, what else though? We had new console.
A new console, Project Scarlet.
Yeah.
Okay. FPS 120. Let's see, man. If we can get 120 FPS on all games, that's gonna blow people away right there. So I think the other consoles got some competition now. You know.
I agree, and we're gonna find out later today. We got Bethesda. We got the much anticipated Devolver, which is gonna be happening later on.
Yes, I'm very excited about Devolver. I mean, indie games in general have been massive this year. It's been blowing up.
It really has.
Right, and now that they have their own like big show, I mean, as always, right? But this one is even more big. So everyone is kind of like extremely excited to see what Devolver brings, because they always bring something kooky, you know?
And if you guys are you haven't had enough kookiness, then stick on, because we're going to be having the pre-show going on, the third or fourth ever Live Not Live pre-show. And it's like a fever dream, but even like fever dreams are nicer than this. So I don't know what to tell you guys to anticipate it, but it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
It'll be a thing.
I'm
so
ready.
man, Frank, I want to know more about you. When did you become a streamer on Twitch, and why did you become a streamer?
It's been 5 years ago, around a little bit over 5 years. 8 months within, I got partnered. My mission was really to bring some people together. I had problems speaking publicly, and I had huge social anxiety. And I was like, there's got to be other people out there that's like me, and why not turn on the system and turn on the camera while I'm playing, because I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
Created a family, created a community, and we were very, very tight-knit. I want people like me to be able to break out of their shells, and it seemed like it's been working. I mean, I'm still doing it. And the community has grown. A lot of people, I never thought I'd be anybody that people would know.
No one does, right?
Right. So my mission now is just to help affiliates and partners that deal with the day-to-day struggles and stuff like that.
Okay.
I kind of put out some videos, like inspirational videos here and there. Not only does it help them, it helps me the most, because I still go through those thoughts. So no matter how big you are, you still go through those mental stress, of being in front of a camera, dealing with like, if these people really like me, what do they think about me? So that was kind of where I started.
Right.
Right.
So where are you now, though? Where is your channel at now?
It is a extremely fun place to be. We're very friendly. We do a lot of RPGs, JRPGs, action adventure games on the hardest mode, and I have a competitive side of me, because like back in the day, I used to do competitive Smash Brothers Melee. So now I'm trying to get in the Ultimate. Those kids are crazy now. But we try to bring little two flavors into one little match right here, and you never know what you might see on my channel. But it's a great place to be. We love everybody. We always consider ourselves family more than just friends, because everyone says, "How's your day going?" and stuff. Our Discord is set up to be like, everyone says good morning every day. It's really nice. So.
Well, if there's up-and-coming streamers that are watching right now that want to get in contact with you, how can they go about that?
On Twitter, it's at DJ Tech Live. I pretty much own every DJ Tech Live there is on every social media. Twitch.tv/DJ Tech Live, of course. YouTube.com/DJ Tech Live for funny videos and stuff of that nature. Just coming by and just say, hey, I saw you at E3, and we'll welcome you right in. And it's a great place to be, so thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Check out DJ Tech Live. And for now, we're going to be heading on to the E3 show floor with one of our community correspondents.
Hi guys, I am Umino Kaiju, and we are here at E3 on Twitch. We're at the EA Play Experience, and we're about to talk everything Apex. Chris, tell me about this Apex experience.
Okay, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. We've got the new Watson Legend that's playable in our game stations up here. So we got like 10,000 people coming through, and they're all going to get a chance to play with Watson, to play with some of the Season 2 map changes. We've got Apex merch over my shoulder. You can see it back there. We've got photo ops where you get to green screen your way into the champion screen, where there's like a live action photo of you with the legends next to you. It's a ton of fun.
That's amazing. So about Watson, can you tell me about the new champ and what she does, what her ultimate is, and what her skills are?
Yeah, so Watson is this new character. She has, a special and an ultimate like all the legends do. So the special is actually where she gets to lay down this electrified fence. She can put up to like 12 nodes on the ground, and it creates this electrified fence, and the other squads go through it and does damage to them, but not to your squad mates. And then her ultimate is when she lays down this pad that actually recharges her shield and everybody else's shields, and it blocks incoming fire. So it's pretty cool.
That's super awesome. So it's an AoE like thing that re-shields all allies?
Yeah, exactly right. With a shield, kind of like Gibraltar's shield, blocks incoming fire, and kind of like Lifeline's healing drone. Yeah.
So I have a question about that. Lifeline's drone also heals enemies. So is it possible that she could re-shield enemies, or is it just allies?
I'm not going to tell you. I guess we're going to find out.
I'm going to find out today. And you said that there might be changes to King's Landing as well. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so now King's Landing, that's Game of Thrones, but you're thinking King's Canyon, right? We're talking King's Canyon.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. I was just testing you.
And I passed.
You passed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, King's
Canyon.
Canyon.
Yeah, King's Canyon. Yeah, there's going to be awesome changes to King's Canyon. There's going to be a whole new area on the map. There's going to be other things that are going to disrupt the play. And then the Season 2 Battle Pass is going to have these weekly events and all kinds of cool content. It's going to be a much bigger Season 2 than Season 1 with so much cool stuff to chase.
I'm really excited about it. I've been wanting new content on Apex for so long.
Yeah, me too.
So that's really exciting. And then also, could you tell me, are there going to be any new guns?
Yeah, actually, we're going to introduce a new weapon too at the same time. Yeah, it's the L Star, and that's going to be something that players now can add into their arsenal. It's going to be really interesting to see how people use it and play with it and put it into their rotation.
So I also had a personal question.
Okay.
Who is your favorite?
Oh, wow. I played a lot of Apex. My favorite was Wraith for like the first 60 hours, but now I'm just exclusively playing Bloodhound.
I think that Bloodhound's ult is one of, or maybe even the best ult, in my opinion, in the game. Okay, so I'm really excited to go see the new champ, and I want to play and check out if her shield really does heal only allies or enemies as well. So let's go check it out.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back, everyone. This is E3 on Twitch. I am one of your hosts, Rachel, aka Seltzer. Joining me on the stage as my co-host is Miss Anna Prosser. And between us, we are joined by Lee, the game director of F1 2019. You are bringing us a very exciting game here. Lee, tell us a little about it.
Yeah, so it's the official Formula One game for 2019. The next installment in the series, which we've now been working on for 10 years. So this is actually our 10th anniversary version of the game. Yeah.
Wow. And as I understand, you are working with Formula One to produce these games. This is authentic stuff. These are tracks that exist. These are cars that fans of Formula One know and love. How do you achieve that?
Yes, I mean, we've worked closely with them for 10 years now, so, you know, we always work to reproduce the absolute accurate version of the 2019 season, or whichever season it is we're working on. And this year, so we've obviously got all the official drivers, the official teams, the official circuits. Obviously, we replicate the rules as thoroughly as possible. But this year, we've actually included some additional racing in there with Formula 2 as well. So Formula 2 is a feeder series where a lot of the drivers come through Formula 2 before they graduate into Formula 1. So that's given us a great chance to build a driver journey in the game.
And that's exciting to me too, because Formula 2, you know, the contenders, the JV, that's where you see the crazy stuff happen. So have you felt like you got to take the reins off a little bit doing Formula 2?
Yeah, I mean, the drive is very different. The cars feel very different, the way they move around on the circuit. So it does create a very different experience. So it's a real sort of nice contrast. So obviously you've got the super high performance, really high downforce, modern Formula 1 cars. Then you've got the slightly heavier, slightly slipperier F2 cars. And then obviously we've got the classic cars in the game as well. So we've got the older Formula 1 cars. So we've got a real complement there in the content in the game.
Can you tell us a little bit about that feeling? Because I think the attractive thing for F1 for me has always been I'm never going to get anywhere close to driving a car like that. And I wouldn't want to, because it would be dangerous if I did. But getting to kind of simulate that experience and really feel what it's like, especially with modern gaming technology. Can you tell us about, in this edition, how real does it really feel behind the wheel?
Yes, I mean, obviously we take advantage of all of the great things that the consoles offer in their controllers these days. So you can feel when the tyres are breaking grip, you can feel when you're hitting the curbs and the bumps, and then we can relay that as well through, you know, all the modern wheels that you can get on the market these days. So you can actually feel every change that the car has, no matter what the surface type is. You know, if it rains, you start to feel the car slide around more. And it's also, we extend that to motion platforms as well. So, you know, if you're somebody who's got the cash to spend on a motion platform, you can really experience being thrown around in a Formula 1 car.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you translate those experiences? Because when I hear you can feel the car slip on the rain, I can imagine that feeling really well, but thinking about translating it to a controller or to a motion platform I'm sure that I could feel it, but how do you go about translating that feeling into like the technology that you're using?
Yeah, so I mean, it starts out really with the physics in the game. So obviously that's really tight. The physics works, you know, really well. So as the tyre starts to slip on the surface, we get that information through that, which is then translated through the force feedback system. So for example, as soon as the tyre starts to slip, even the slightest slip, that starts to rumble the motors and the controllers just a little, and then that can build up. So it's all very tactile feedback. So you can tell exactly what the car's doing through your hands, or, you know, through your feet if you've got force feedback pedals, for example.
It's so cool.
Another big feature of the immersion is the visuals too. So can you tell me a little bit about what we're going to be seeing as far as, you told us these are tracks that exist, but are we going to see weather effects? Are we going to see any potentially, you know, different scenarios?
Yeah, I think probably one of the most noticeable things this year visually is we've done a lot of work on the lighting routines in the game. So if you're racing at night in particular, we've got a new night lighting in the game. So it looks absolutely spectacular, because we have feedback from the drivers that when they race at night, the game had got sort of lights that were around the circuit, and they worked very much like, you know, sort of glorified street lights.
Sure.
But the drivers were saying, you know, that's not how it is in real life. It's actually like a blanket of light, and the whole circuit feels like it's in daylight. So we've got new lighting in the game, which, you know, really gives that effect. And as you can imagine, you know, we do weather as well. So if you're racing at night in the rain on a street track, it's absolutely terrifying.
But so
really
good looking.
Oh, yeah,
Games have really perfected like water on asphalt in different sun conditions.
Yeah, definitely.
You said you worked with drivers. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience of talking to someone who actually does this in real life and then experiencing playing your game?
Yeah, so since we started work on the series, we've always had a driver who's always given us advice and always advised us on what it's like to drive a Formula 1 car, because obviously that's something that we don't get the opportunity to do ourselves.
Right.
But also, obviously, we scan all of the driver faces for the game, so that means we get to see the drivers really early in the season, and we take out early versions of the game to play. So if they get time in between getting their faces scanned, they get the opportunity to sit and play the game and give us feedback. And it's really invaluable, because it's something that, you know, it's those little anecdotal things they come out with that you probably wouldn't get from the data data, but you can get from the driver themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're updating the game based on suggestions from the drivers and people who participate in F1. But also, as you mentioned, this is the 10-year anniversary version of the game.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on the game, and what is the new innovation that you think is fresh for this 2019 edition?
Yeah, so I've been working on it since 2008.
Yeah.
So it's
Quite a
been
perspective.
quite a while, yeah. And obviously this year, with it being our 10th anniversary, we've got an anniversary edition of the game coming out. So that comes with some additional content, some new classic cars. We've also got a deluxe edition of the game coming, which is the Legends edition, and that contains 2 legendary Formula One drivers, Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. So they race together. But I think probably one of the big areas this year, aside from the awesome Formula 2 stuff that we've got in the game, is that we've included some new online play, and we've got leagues in the game.
Very cool.
So a lot of people run leagues away from the game, but it'd be far easier if they could run leagues within the game. And there's no need to come out of the game then. So if you're playing on PC, console, it doesn't matter what platform, you can create those leagues in the game and fully manage them. And so obviously I could sort of set a league up on a Monday evening and just let it run.
Anna, my esports sense is tingling here.
Absolutely.
What is competition like for F1?
So we've got an incredibly competitive esports series that we've been running. So this is our 3rd year, and we've been running it in partnership with Formula One. And the guys who run it the last 2 years. In fact, quite a number of the drivers are now signed with real Formula One teams.
Unbelievable.
And they're actually getting to take part in real racing as well. So they're driving in different championships in real life.
That is so cool. So the gameplay experience is true enough that somebody can translate that between car and console.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really exciting thing about a racing game, is that compared to, say, something like a football game where, I can play FIFA and then I can go and be rubbish at football.
Right.
If you play something like a racing game, that does translate quite nicely to driving a car as well.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, we've heard stories of, students of airplanes training on flight simulators and being able to take this out into the road. So when you talk to these drivers, when you give them a chance for hands-on, have you ever gotten feedback that, like, this is great practice, or this is a great opportunity for me to learn this track?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, we've actually put tracks in the game where they didn't exist in real life at that point in time. They were still being built.
Oh, cool.
We had them running in game before they were actually created, and the drivers have used it as a test bed to actually learn the circuit in advance.
That's unbelievable. That's
it's
pretty
very cool.
What are your favorite tracks, cars, drivers, just for the people at home who are like, I'm going to start, where do I start with the favorite?
So I think we always say a good one to start on, even though there's some nasty braking, is Monza.
Okay.
It's a very fast circuit, so it shows off the performance of a Formula One car in terms of its sheer straight line speed. I mean, today we just had the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a personal favourite of mine. I love the circuit. Spa's a classic Formula One track that I absolutely love. And in car-wise this year, I've been enjoying driving the new car that we put in for Ayrton Senna, the McLaren from 1990. That's a really nice car to drive.
Cool. Yeah, you mentioned some of those classic cars are. Who are they serving? Are they the people that have been playing for 10 years and they want to play these in a new way, or are they people who are fans of Formula One? Tell us a little bit about the classics.
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, there's certainly a degree that Formula One fans are very educated and they've probably been following the sport for some time, so they really do look back at those eras and think, oh, this was a great period in Formula One, and now things have changed to this, and it's a great way to compare how the sport's changed in the last, say, I think 30 years roughly we cover with the cars. So it's really exciting that they get to experience that, but also it shows the people who may be new to Formula One what the sport was like previously as well.
Cool.
Where does the community for Formula One 2019 and the previous iterations of the game live? You mentioned a high competitive community for people who want to get involved, who want to level up their gameplay. Where do they go?
So ultimately now they'll be able to do that in game. I mean, that's so much easier.
Fantastic.
Obviously we've got our own forums and social that people can always connect with, but being able to actually run your own league in game, I think is quite a great thing, because what always worries me is that it's very daunting, isn't it? You look at competitive gaming today, and I'm pretty good at racing games, but I certainly wouldn't entertain entering some of those leagues that I see run that are very professional. But I could quite happily get together a bunch of people who play at a similar level to me and sort of engage with those guys, and get together on a certain night of the week, have a chat, play some Formula One, and have a really nice social experience with it.
Oh, that's great. You enable that through the game. This is kind of a particular question, but with some of these top-tier racers, some people that are competing and winning in the competitive leagues, is there an opportunity at all for me to grab their Ghost and race against it, or get some lessons from these top players?
Yeah, and also what we also have in the game is there's an area now dedicated to esports. So in there, that's actually where you would go and qualify.
Very cool.
So in there, there'll be, when the game launches, and the next time we run the esports qualifiers, there'll be 4 events that we'll run, or a number of events depending on how we structure the series next year. But there's going to be 4 unique customization items attached to it as well. So even if you're not very quick at the game and you don't expect to be able to qualify and become world champion, you still get 4 cool items for actually participating in the qualifiers. Cool. And that'll be obviously a nice overalls, boot, gloves, helmet, and a really nice skin for the car. So car customization, that's obviously a new element this year as well. and that's obviously driven because we want people playing the game online, and personalization is really important when you
It
do
is.
play online.
I want my pink car, I'm telling you right now.
And you can have your pink car.
Thank you, Lee. Well, give us the basics. Where are we going to get it? When are we going to get it?
Yes.
How much is it going to be? Can I have it right now?
So, PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4, and it's out on 28th of June. But if you order the Legends Edition, which comes with the additional classic content, that's out on the 25th.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Lee, for the insights. Formula One 2019. It's going to be amazing. We got so many more games for you coming from E3 on Twitch. We'll be joining you later.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Journal? Is it okay if I call you that? It's a bit formal, I know, but we've only just met. Let me tell you why you're here. Since I was little, I've always dreamed of becoming a writer. That's why Gran gave you to me. She always talks about little acorns growing into big trees. Although I think she's trying to make me feel better about my height. I'm going to write a story, one that'll make Gran smile. I want her to be proud of her little acorn. There once was a young girl who thought she would never see outside her home village. But the land of Astoria had other ideas. It had great and terrible adventures planned for her. Hello again, Journal. We went to visit Gran in the hospital today. Mum said she was going to be fine, but I saw her crying in her room. She is going to be fine, isn't she? She has to be. I need to finish the story so Gran can read it when she feels better. Now, where were we?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to E3 on Twitch. My name is O'Keefe, and I'm happy to have you here. Of course, I'm not alone. My boy Zeke over there.
What's up, man?
Just looking good, comparing beards, that kind of stuff. We're not alone though, fellow beard people, kinda. You know, it's like a little.
I'm doing my best.
On our way.
I can't keep up with YouTube, right?
On our way.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Got
He's got the fashionable, like, I stayed up all night, like, thinking about tomorrow look.
Yeah, the Jude Law.
Stubble.
I like it.
That's exactly it.
And Stubble, your name is Mark, of course. We actually have real names for people. And you're David, correct?
Correct, yes. I'm the composer for Lost Words, and Mark's the creator of the game.
So tell us about this game we're about to see. What is this?
So,
your own words.
Lost Words is a atmospheric platformer set half in the pages of a young girl's diary and half in the fantasy world that she's writing about, because she's aspiring to be a writer and her gran is sort of helping to mentor her. And then when she kind of has to deal with difficult issues in the real world, she's using the diary as a means of coping with what's going on.
And when you talk about a game that has emotion built into it, you need some good writing too. And I understand you have someone named Rihanna Pratchett working on this game.
Yes.
Of great fame, like Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, Heavenly Sword, Mirror's Edge, like some actual really, really good concrete writing. Because imagine when you're writing an emotional story, you want to make sure it has some backing to it. And we're going to see some of that in action, I believe, as well, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Cool. So what is it that makes this game different when you're talking about grief and things like grief and emotion and telling a story with emotion?
So we really wanted to use the different mechanics to help tell the story. So we've got the player actually walking on the words within the pages of the diary here. So you can see on the game now.
I have some footage.
Izzy's been given the diary by her gran, and then we transition into the diary itself. And so here we've got the character who's the representation of Izzy within the pages of the diary.
And as is by normal E3 standards, this is actual real-time gameplay.
Absolutely.
You can actually train person right here
yeah.
who knows how to play it.
I apologize in advance if I ruin everything, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So what are we looking at right now? How does this game work in terms of the words and they interact with the story?
So you can move different words around the page. So this is the main mechanic here. So David can use the mouse to grab the word and then use it as a platform, but also we use words to allow the player to make choices, and we also sometimes use the meaning of the words to allow them to solve different puzzles.
We'll be seeing that later on in the gameplay as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good.
And the game's kind of split into these two halves of the diary section and Astoria section. So there's 8 chapters in the game. Each chapter begins in the pages of the diary and then transitions into the fantasy world of Astoria.
Now, throughout the play of the game, does the gameplay puzzle element, or I don't know if you want to call them a puzzle element, but does it get more and more difficult and intricate, or is it just a storytelling tool?
It does get a little bit more difficult, but we also wanted the game to be accessible to lots of different people and it to be more about the story and what's happening than really challenging gameplay. But yeah, as we transition into Astoria, you end up using the words in different ways. So here we've got the words making the 3 platforms, so it's kind of like a metaphor, because he's talking about her aspirations to become a writer, and then David was using the words there as platforms to help him achieve his goal on the page of getting to that tear that appears on each one.
And earlier you mentioned that you give people a choice when they're playing the game. How would you describe that choice process? How's that look? How's that work?
So we'll come to that in a couple of pages' time.
Okay.
And so basically people, there's some choices that kind of affect the aesthetic of the character, and some that will have an impact on some of the text in the fantasy world story.
Sounds like a little create your own character kind of thing.
A little bit.
He's giving me like the nod, like the, well, you might be right, you might not. We'll see, I guess, Adrian, right? Stay tuned. And I love the art
So this
style.
is really kind of just setting the stage for what's to come. This is about kind of establishing Izzy's relationship with her grandmother, who acts as a mentor for her. And she's, as Mark has already said, an aspiring writer. And yeah, we get our first introduction into the fantasy world that she's been writing under her grandmother's tutelage very shortly after this. So this is just kind of showing you, establishing the basic mechanics from the diary section, and then I think, is it this page?
It's like the creative
Oh,
process
next page.
there of showing Izzy brainstorming, and you as the player are kind of helping her in that process by jumping on those different trigger words. We call them the purple words that then activate different things on the page.
I like the background notes too. It's like the way my brain works when I'm thinking about things too. Like, ugh, it's already boring. That's better. I'm kind of the same way when I think about stuff in games. Like, I have doubts, and the doubts are appearing on the page as well as she goes along. Like her inner thought talking to herself right there. Oh,
So this is the first example of one of the choices that you can make to affect the story. So if you guys want to pick a name, and then we'll go from there.
Georgia, I gotta go with Georgia. Georgia on my mind, man.
That is a solid choice, my friend.
That smile. You're so
that's like one of my
I wasn't gonna
top
ask.
5 favorite
That's
songs
fine.
of all time.
Is it really?
Oh, there you go.
Not
Great
even faking it.
taste.
You're serious.
Yeah.
Great taste.
That's respect.
And red, green, or purple?
You say green or purple?
Purple. Bleed purple.
I mean, it is Twitch. It's got to be
It's
purple.
Twitch, yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you about the mixture of art styles. Like, it looks like there's watercolors, there's like sketch and that kind of stuff. Was that like the idea from the outset to make it all kinds of different stuff, or how did that process go?
We really wanted the diary to look really creative and unique, and then we also wanted the world of Astoria to look like concept art, come to life, and to be really beautiful. So we knew that we wanted those two distinct styles, but we also wanted them to be as interrelated as possible. And so, yeah, why we've got the little doodles and things that kind of join the two worlds together.
I think it's your turn, Zeke.
What are we going for, man?
Everyone was very fond of Georgia.
Yeah. Her heart was full of curiosity.
No one was as
blank as her.
Playful.
Playful? Cool.
No one was as playful as her.
So this choice affects the some of the objects that we'll see in a second when we transition into Astoria here. So as you can see, we load in, and
oh wow,
this is the fantasy world that
this
she's
is
been writing.
Astoria, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't even know it would transition into something this like vibrant. I thought it was going to be like the whole diary the whole way through.
Yeah, no, the whole game is kind of split into these very two distinct parts, and it's something that we really want to try and establish in all aspects of development. So obviously visually it's very different, but both in terms of the, I guess the kind of subtext and the tone throughout as well, because the diary deals with some quite harrowing issues that Izzy has to go through in real life. And the game itself is actually really a bit of an exploration into the grieving process and how it affects us as people. And we thought it would be very interesting to look at that through the eyes of a child, because it's a very innocent and pure kind of viewpoint to look at what is a very difficult subject. And Mark spent a lot of time kind of researching with you can talk a bit about.
Yeah, so we've been working with the Wellcome Trust, who sort of helped fund part of the game and also put us in touch with a researcher from Cambridge University called Caitlin Hitchcock, who's also a child psychologist, and so we were talking to her all about the stages of grief.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've sent her versions of the script, and she's given us feedback and advice, and been really helpful to work with.
So it actually will be an emotional journey in every sense of the phrase. It's usually used as a trope. Like that's an actual device.
Each stage of the game is actually kind of thematically based on a different stage of the grieving process. So that's something that we went to great pains to capture, both visually and particularly with the music. It's something which I really worked hard on to make sure that the subtext was always there, regardless of kind of how vibrant and happy things seem on screen. There's an underlying kind of sadness to things as well. So.
People who actually are going through stages of grief in real life then can play this game and find parallels between what they're experiencing and what the game can tell them along the way. Maybe even how to deal with it.
We hope so.
That's a noble quest, man. I can dig that, and I just want to say, like, I'm not afraid to cry. But is this game gonna do that? Are you gonna make me cry?
If I've done my job properly.
Okay.
If I've done my job properly, it should do. We're super fortunate. We actually got to record the score at Ocean Way Studios in Nashville, which is absolutely incredible studio, world-class musicians, and we just felt, given the seriousness of the subject matter, we really wanted to give it the most respect possible, and just like the added kind of emotion of having human players involved has really helped kind of lift things and bring it to life even more. So, you know, it's just the kind of an example of the attention to detail that we've really been, you know, putting into this.
Something I wanted to ask you about before that's kind of important to me, gameplay-wise, is how important are the choices you make as far as how the narrative plays out?
So we've got the main narrative that we really wanted to tell, so it's not a kind of a massively branching story.
Sure.
But the choices do kind of add different bits of flavour to it. So when we started the Astoria section, we were collecting the different marbles because we chose playful, and so we were getting different bits of text based on our choice there. So here we've got our word book that allows us to collect the different words that we find, and so we can use them in different sections as we progress through the level.
Yeah, words are magic in Astoria, so they're kind of equivalent of spells.
I was just going to say, it's like your spell book or your inventory.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when are we, like, what can we expect this on, I guess, in the future?
So it's going to be on Steam and PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Okay. And we can talk about, I guess, maybe do you want to discuss maybe
release dates? Yeah, so we are releasing in December.
Okay. Concrete December. I like that. Confidence in the space too.
Yep.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm
Thank
sure
you so
everyone at
much.
home is looking for a nice break in the realm of to having an actual, story game that's gonna play with your emotions.
Oh, before we go, you wanted to mention the wish list.
Yeah, so we're available to wishlist on Steam if people want to check out the game and get notified when it's available.
Well, there you go. Wishlist it right now on Steam if you haven't had the chance to do. And also, we won't play with your emotions because we're gonna be here, E3, Twitch, right back soon. Stay tuned.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
So welcome back to E3 on Twitch. I'm here with Rachel Querico, and we are getting the delightful opportunity to talk to Jeff about Sayonara Wild Hearts. Yep. Now, if someone hasn't heard of this game before, Rachel and I are both like on the edge of our seat to talk about it.
Every buzzword is really exciting, and they're not words that I would put together. So how do you guys describe this game?
So the development team is Simogo. They're known for a bunch of mobile games that were pretty popular in the past couple of years, like Device 6, Your Walk. And they like to describe this as a playable music album. Each of the levels is pretty much the length of kind of a pop track with some of the songs that have lyrics involved.
Looks like we're going to have to switch your mic out real quick. Thank you.
I was saying that the levels are about the length of a pop track, with some of the ones that involve lyrics being full-length music tracks.
And what does that mean, a playable pop album?
It's really hard to describe unless we get into the gameplay and like you see it visually and hear the audio. It's always a question that we get whenever we talk about the game when we're at conventions like PAX.
Well, luckily you brought us gameplay. Maybe Rachel can hold the mic for you.
Cool. I'll take the mic and I'll be holding this here for you. And you're actually going to be playing the game live for us today.
I am.
That's very cool.
So I was really excited about this game when I first saw it just because of the colors, the fact that I was seeing motorcycle racing. Those were already exciting things for me, but I love music games. So tell us how things start here. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so this is actually the first kind of the intro part of the game, so I'll be playing probably through the first 3 or so levels. This is kind of setting up the game world. You play as a character called the Fool, and she goes through a recent heartbreak and through kind of a set of circumstances within the universe. She's bestowed upon her these kind of magical powers that are derived from a tarot card deck. And you know, the kind of intro cinematic spells it out for anybody playing. But after this, we dive into the game world.
I do love that, you know, you experience heartbreak, and the first thing you do is you get on your motorcycle, you call yourself an idiot, and you set out into the world to find a reason to live again. And who's this crystalline butterfly?
So you'll see that the butterfly will bestow upon the character who becomes the Fool, and that's how she becomes pretty much a badass skateboarding motorcycle rider.
Whoa, she literally turned our world upside down.
And I got to shout out the art here. I mean, my first thought was like Wii Fit Trainer meets like Just Dance kind of silhouette, which is very musical to me. But then I'm getting elements of Persona. There's the classic Mario Kart Rainbow Road here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are going to make a lot of different kind of gamers happy. So how many kinds of game preferences are you trying to hit with a game like this?
There's a lot of kind of different experiences that you go through this. So the first few levels, a lot of people kind of liken it to an infinite runner, just because you're guiding the character and collecting all of these hearts, much like, you know, Sonic Adventure.
You are nailing it, Jeff.
And as we progress further, there's more gameplay elements added with each kind of song and each kind of level that you play through.
And tell us a little bit about the integration of the music. Am I needing to be good at rhythm in order to play this game, or is the music just enhancing what I'm doing?
It's more of an enhancement. It's not like a beat rhythm kind of experience. It definitely adds to what you're playing through. It makes it more exciting. And a lot of the tracks are very up-tempo and high beat. And so it further immerses you into the world.
And she has become the Fool.
Yes.
I love the transformation sequence.
So that was the first intro level, getting you used to the movement mechanics. And then the next level, there's going to be a little bit more added on. So each of these levels kind of layer on your gameplay experience until you get to these boss battles. And so in a couple of levels, you actually get to ride on your motorcycle, and then the kind of enemies that you encounter in the game are motorcycle gangs. And those lead into boss battles every 5 or so levels.
And we saw those guys in the trailer. They all look pretty cool and in pretty different genres, I would say. Each of them sort of fits a different genre of music. Am I getting that?